out to the girls in the front, to the back, to the middle, to the left, to the right. We're gonna take you on a bad boy flight. MetzNTrix on the mic tonight. Like a reload. 20 years old, still smacking the scene, yo, still with my bone, that's cheap. Take no shh, always gonna roll with tricks, always gonna make the hits, always gonna say.
Introduce you to the listeners. So obviously we've got Metz here with us, who's one half of MetzNTrix, which I'm sure everybody has heard of. So Metz, take me back to the very beginning, sort of early 2000s. How did your journey into music actually start?
So what a lot of people don't really talk about is just the few years before the 2000s, so the late 90s. So 98, 99, up to 2000, we were really active in Manchester on urban radio. So we used to do pirate radio with me and Ricochet, Trix, and another DJ, Chaos. And we used to play like R&B, hip-hop, garage, obviously. And that's where the love for my music came, in garage music. When me and Ricochet just used to do the pirate radio station, then we started getting bookings in nightclubs, and I was the MC, Ricochet was the superstar DJ, and that's where my love and kind of connection came with music through that era. That's how it happened, really.
And then at which point did you meet Trix on this journey?
So I've known Trix a very, very long time, and obviously we lived very close together in South Manchester. So it was on that pirate radio station era that me and Trix kind of met. And at first, Trix didn't MC a lot, he was hosting.
Hey.
Yeah, but then he gradually got into the MCing, and then we could actually find that he really enjoyed it, and he had a unique and different voice to me in it.
And what age were you around about then?
Yeah, so 17, 18, 19, yeah.
17, 18, 19,
Yeah,
wow, that's young.
Yeah, we were really young, really active, really hungry, and we didn't really know what we were entering, we were just enjoying it.
Yeah, that's good. And so when did MetzNTrix come alive? Like, so you said that you started off with Ricochet,
Yeah.
and then you met Trix,
Yeah.
and did it just sort of automatically become a name, MetzNTrix?
So we had a clique. We were called the Midnight Lit Crew.
Midnight Lit Crew?
Yeah, the Midnight Lit Crew, and we had like our own branding. We had jackets, and our.
Do you still have some of the jackets?
I think.
One?
Yeah, I think Trix has got one. I think Ricochet's got one, but it was a clock at the stroke of midnight, but it was a tongue.
Right.
So it was like midnight lick, innit?
Right.
So yeah, we used to get booked, and we'd always ask to come on the midnight slot.
Okay.
So that was our little punchline, innit? That was like the Midnight Lit Crew in the venue. Do you know what I mean? And we just shell it down with like R&B and garage, and you know, and it was just becoming popular. And then the radio station became popular, and then the garage started getting even bigger, and then they started having student nights.
Right. Okay.
Where one room was R&B, hip hop, and then and another room was garage, and I used to MC.
In the garage room?
In the garage room. And it was there where obviously Surinder Rippin came to that event,
right.
found me, you know, stuck up a relationship with me, you know, exchanged numbers, and then from there he met me, and then he took me to Coventry to Planet Studios. We made Duppe, and it was at that point, you know, that Duppe kind of really
there's so many different
introduced me to the well, they all came after, but the original Duppe, that was what introduced me into the Asian music scene.
Right.
And that's where we met RDB at the video shoot for the Lick, because Surinder was working with RDB, they were close, and then me and Cully and RDB just became close, and then they told me about, they were, you know, with a label Untouchables, and then we thought of the idea for having a MetzNTrix album, Danger, and that's where MetzNTrix kind of, that's where we kind of found ourselves. But just before all of the RDB and the Danger album, Surinder had already made Umbrasilia with Mac G, and I think that was the first time that people kind of got our sound. It was on Umbasaria.
That actually brings me into my next question, actually. What was the UK South Asian music scene like at that time? Were people becoming familiar with garage, or was it already popular?
So it was receptive. So during that era, it was a physical format, CDs, cassettes. Everybody would run to the local shops to get the latest Bhangra albums, the latest CD, the latest tape. And during that era, that Surinder kind of came out on RDB, a lot of the other producers, Zeus, everybody, Rishi, everyone, Punjabi MC, everybody started making garage, Bhangra garage. Do you know what I mean? Or fusing garage beats with Asian vocals. So I think it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But for us, the nights we would get booked in the clubs.
Right.
And when you're in the clubs and there's 2,000-3,000 disses, it's unbelievable because we don't really have that now.
Such an electric atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And did you see a future in it at that point, or were you still just having fun?
No, we definitely saw that this is opening doors and there's a future in it because we just kept getting booked. We kept making money. We kept, traveling around the UK. So for us, it was enjoyable. And then we realized how big South Asian community is because Leicester, Birmingham, Nottingham, London. And then when you were in London, you were like, London's massive. There's East London, there's North West London, there's West London, there's South London. Do you know what I mean? And just Asians were everywhere, and people just used to come out in the thousands.
So what year would you say it really shifted for you from, we're just making music to this is real, this is actually happening?
Well, I would say really early, so 2000, 2001.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that early?
I feel like it was moving at a really fast pace at that time. Do you get me? So, we'd have one booking in one side of it and another booking on the other side. And I didn't really realize how, big the tunes were getting. Because you had the music, it was getting played on radio. We were having PR, there was magazines, there was newspapers. But then at the same time, you're getting blasted on the radio. And then whichever area you go to, whether it was Southall, whether it was Brick Lane, whether it was East London, whether it was Manchester, Windsor Road, everybody is blasting the music in the cars.
And were people, when you were in these areas, were people recognizing you?
Yeah.
Or were you getting swallowed?
Yeah. We used to get all the time. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy.
What are your early releases that you recall that started getting attention, apart from Duckby?
Yeah. Well, I definitely, it was Danger. Danger, because that's the first time people kind of seen what we look like. We had our face on the album. We were doing a lot of shows in Leeds, in Birmingham, in London, in Manchester. We were doing the biggest nights. We were on those bills. But Danger was just massive for us. And what I can't still get my head around is, to this day, Danger never had a music video where Duckby did, and Umbasaria did.
Yeah.
And even put Savannah.
That's right.
With RDB and Trix did, but Danger never had one video, and it was one of the biggest albums in the country at that time.
That's right. Danger is just iconic for everyone.
Yeah,
when you say MetzNTrix, immediately you think of Danger.
Yeah.
Well, I do anyway.
Yeah, so it was really nuts that we didn't get any videos for Danger, but then the irony is we do Danger 2 and we get a video for Ajamai, which still doesn't make sense to me, the video.
Why is it you didn't do any videos for Danger?
It was Tony and Untouchable's choice.
Right.
It's when
Did you agree with that choice?
No, not at all. We didn't agree with a lot of things that the label were doing.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But it was their choice. They didn't want to put the money into making videos for MetzNTrix. They'd rather put it with RDB and the other releases that they had.
But surely the label would also then say that Danger got so much momentum. So do you think that's maybe a decision they regret, or do you think Danger would still be as huge as it is without, with a music video and without?
I think it would have been even bigger. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy because it would have made it even more global. And it did. You know, still to this day, people in Australia talk about danger. People in India, Pakistan talk about danger. Here in Scotland, all they go on about is danger. And then when you look at the stats, because we don't really know how many it sold.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a mystery.
Have a rough kind of.
I would say at least over 50, 70,000 copies, if not more.
Wow.
But, you know, when you go to stats now, and like Sarukda, you got Gubi Sandhu, by the way, Sarukda has had 3 million streams, but it's a massive achievement. Having 3 million streams for a song that's 25, 26 years old is crazy. But I don't think that's a correct reflection for Sarukda. Do you know what I mean? Like,
because people would have been listening to it well before
that.
like,
Nobody
streaming platform.
Nobody measured it. Nobody captured that data. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And that's the problem with our era. Nobody captured a lot of the data and the stats because it was all going under the table. Do you know what I mean? People were just making money off the physical formats and making themselves rich. But then when you look at Ajamahi's had more than 20 million streams. So that's nuts. So that's almost.
And that must amaze you when you look on the stream.
Yeah.
So obviously.
But even that, it should be more. It should be 100. Yeah. Like, I think the original version is the one. Like, they re-released it in India, took us off it. Everybody knows about that. But you know, you don't even know like how many, because the era before streaming came, Ajamahi was doing crazy numbers.
Was that something that you had a say in? You just said
no
about them taking you off.
No, that was.
How did that kind of come about?
So that's obviously still controversial because we weren't included in that. That's something that RDB did themselves. They went to India. They decided to, you know, do a new version of Ajamahi, take the elements of it, and didn't put us on it, kept themselves on it. It was probably, you know, I don't think that was the right decision. Do you know what I mean? Because now people don't really play that version. When have you heard that version get played? Really, they don't. They always go to the original.
Of course, they would always go.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I would probably always go to the original as well.
Do you know what I mean?
And so there's still controversy around that.
Of course there is, because everybody knows.
Kind of like damaged relationships.
Well, I think that everybody was doing what they're doing for their own gains. So I don't really say there is a relationship now, because everybody does their own thing, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? RDB are doing their thing. Manj does his thing. MetzNTrix, we're doing our thing.
Everybody has their own sort of path to success.
It's almost like the breakup, like Oasis, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what the real fans, the real fans want is the real fans want MetzNTrix and RDB to do music again.
Yeah.
That's what they really want.
Do you think that would ever happen?
I don't think so, unless there was a really influential financer that's going to keep everybody happy, get everybody paid equally, and everybody is satisfied. Then it could happen.
The exposure that
everyone gets what they want in it, and they're riders. Do you know what I mean? And then it might happen. But it's a shame, because you know everybody knows what RDB and MetzNTrix and Gubi Sandhu,
of course,
and the Untouchables label.
All these tracks are historic, right?
What we've done to pave the way. And still in 2026, they're bigger than ever.
That's right.
They're bigger than ever.
I mean, you just mentioned the figures of streaming.
Yeah. That's only going to go up. That's going up every year. It's going up. But I still don't think it's a correct reflection.
No. And then, so did success arrive the way you expected it to, or you know, was it a straight line to success, or would you say there was bendy roads?
I would say that success came really fast for us at our younger age.
Unexpectedly?
Unexpectedly and expectedly. And I think, for me personally, Trix might have a different opinion on it. He might have a different view on it. But for me personally, I don't think that I had the correct infrastructure.
Okay.
MetzNTrix. And I was just living week by week and enjoying it, and, you know, spending money and going out and raving and performing, and socializing, and probably I made a couple of wrong choices along the way in my young life, but I don't regret anything because now.
I was just about to ask
Yeah.
you, is there any
No, there's nothing. There's nothing that I regret because I don't think we'd be as big as we are sat here right now. If that makes sense, because we've shaped a generation and a generation after that. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And now we've got the TikTok generation, we've got the young under 16 generation that are still
How do you
playing
feel about the TikTok
MetzNTrix.
generation?
I mean, I think
Are you a TikToker?
I'm not a great TikToker. I love TikTok. I love going on it. I wouldn't say MetzNTrix are the best, but some of our videos have gone viral, and some of that success is to TikTok.
Okay.
But I would say that the TikTok generation is easier.
Of course. So you were grafting back then, whereas nowadays you can put something on the internet and just hope for it to go viral.
And a lot of it does, a lot of these artists that are getting insane numbers, they just have luck, and it just goes viral, millions, and that's it. They're famous overnight, they're rich overnight, and then they've got a career overnight. So, TikTok is good in that way.
So your sound is obviously always carried a unique sort of the way that you make music. And how important was it for you to stay true to that while the scene was evolving? Did you ever feel the need that you needed to go down like a different path in the way that you make music?
So garage is our forte. Punjabi garage is what we're known for. But in that early 2003, 4, 5 era, when I released Get Ready, Get Set and Get Ready, Get Set 2, we made a lot of risks, and we went into the hip hop genre, we went into the rapping genre. Now, in that time, I was messing around with bilingual flows and doing stuff in Punjabi, doing stuff in English, doing stuff in Punjabi, doing stuff in English, because I believe that rappers were going to go that way in 2002, 2003, 2004. And I remember when I did bilingual flow, which I absolutely love. Do you know what I mean? Ye duniya to paisa pe chalti hai. And then Trix was like, "Main kisne gal nahi sunda, I'm always in a punga, na isn't very chunga." These lyrics are 23, 24 years old. And now when you look at the South Asian music scene, you look at Badshah, you look at Yo-Yo Honey Singh, you look at Bohemia.
It's all kind of...
And everybody has solidified their sound. And I knew that it was going to go that way. I knew that we're going to get superstars from India and Pakistan and America that are going to be rapping purely in Punjabi and Hindi. Do you know what I mean? In their languages. And I was doing that then.
How did your listeners or your fans respond to that back then?
It was mixed. So some people loved it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what are they doing? Why are they trying to do rap?"
And did you feel the need to justify yourself, or did you just sort of continue with it?
I was very defensive in those days. I was really defensive. I was like, "No, this is a sound." Because, growing up with Trix and Ricochet and going back to our Midnight Lit crew, we were just influenced by 50 Cent and Snoop and Tupac and listening to R&B and hip hop. And, I used to do bits and bobs with Soul Street Team and Universal and Semtex. And, hip hop's always been in our life. So we always wanted to kind of cross that over and bring it into the South Asian music. And I tried to do it in Get Ready, Get Set 1 and 2 with some of those tracks. Some of them slapped and absolutely mental. And some of them just didn't get the recognition that they deserved. But now they're iconic albums, and they're sitting in museums, bro.
Really? Which museum?
So Manchester Museum has got like an exhibition of
Do you ever just walk in there?
I took my family.
Wow.
My family's been in there. They're taking pictures, and they're like, "Yo, you're in the."
Random Tussauds of...
They're like, "Yo, you're in the museum." I don't know how I feel about that. Like, whether I feel like a dinosaur.
And then, so when you were with the label, was there any pressure to conform to creating music a certain way?
No, we were very lucky because Hully was the creative one. So rest in peace, Cully. He was just the mastermind at Untouchables. He was making all the music. And he just had the vision, he had the sound, and he was responsible. Look at the music that he created. RDB, Utsadare, Ajamahi, Sandi Gali, Sahara, Lal Kagara, Gubi Sandu, Indi Sugu, Urban Flavors. You know, he's responsible for all of that. I'm not saying Manjo, Serge are not, but Cully was the mastermind. So you didn't really need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because he had you boxed in it. He had you sorted, and he was creative. Obviously, our breakdown happened when we weren't, happy with the label, and we weren't getting the money we were promised, and then we left and we went to Movie Box.
What year was that?
2002-3.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we went to Movie Box, we got the new deal with Get Ready, Get Set 1 and 2. And that's when it was tough, because we had to make the music ourselves. We had to go in the studios with the engineers, and there's no Cully. There's,
Right.
I don't even think Surinder did a lot. Do you know what I mean? There was nobody around, so we had to do it. We had a few producers we were working with, so it was a different time then.
Yeah. And then, so you've seen different eras of the industry, obviously. So looking back now, what are you most proud of?
So I want to break this answer down for you, like in 3 parts. So obviously the early 2000s I'm very, very grateful for the early music. Gappe, and the Sharia. But for me, the Danger album was a pinnacle moment. Doing the RDB music was a massive moment. Having that album #1 in the Asian charts, getting it blasted on all the radios from Asia.
Of course, back then you had like B4U and things.
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
B4U, ZTV, you had Sunrise, you had, all the radio stations in London, and then BBC Asian Network, was transitioning. It was getting bigger, to what it is now. That hadn't happened yet. And I think in that early 2000, that was one of the main points. And then the transition happened as the scene got bigger. Then you had Jay Sean come out. He blew it up. He went mainstream. And as these newer artists came out and blew up themselves, they actually indirectly, they're making us bigger, they're making the scene bigger, they're making it more accessible, wider reach. Do you know what I mean? And I think a massive turning point that people don't really talk about, which I do think is important now, is when Bobby Fischer and Nihal had their own show on Radio 1. Do you know what I mean? That really helped a lot of people, yeah. And it did make the sound a bit more accessible to the mainstream. But what Punjabi MC did with Munde At Tabajke helped that.
Yeah.
Without Punjabi MC, you might not have got that transition. Without Jay Sean, you might not have got the mainstream crowd. And it just went bigger
So
and bigger.
it all just kind of comes together.
Yeah, it just
music scene in general.
it just slapped. And then, so, we're really lucky, because in each of the decades, in each of the era, we've had a pinnacle moment. So 2000s, with up there's your Danger 2, Aja Mahi. And then, with it going to mainstream, other artists. But in 2010, after, then we had Hassas and OMG, massive, massive tunes. Again, OMG for us went towards the mainstream dance market. It was on Radio 1 a lot. Nihal championed it. It was on the New Year's Eve on on the embankment. It was played on live on TV. It was in the gyms. It was #1 in the Music Week urban charts.
And how did it feel seeing all of that?
And then the day that I got a phone call to say you're #1 in the Music Week urban charts, and I looked at the charts, and there was J-Lo, will.i.am,
Wow.
Rihanna, Flow Rider, Wyclef, all these art, I'm like, yo,
Wow.
are we like mixing with these artists? Like, and this was the industry, the Music Week is an industry chart, so it's not the mainstream charts, it was an industry chart. We were really trying to push it. So for me, that was a massive moment. So again, 2010, 12, massive. Then I personally had a break in 2012 onwards. I had a break and I didn't do any music for many, many years until 2019, 2020. So
That's quite a long.
that's nearly a
How
decade
did you
of
feel getting back into it?
loving it.
So you both kind of took a break.
Well, Trix was always doing stuff. He was with
Okay.
Surinder, he went India, Trix was performing with Punjabi MC. So he was still very, very active.
Do you feel like you missed out on certain things, or
I
you're
feel-
sort of happy with your decision?
No, I was happy. It's a personal decision for me, but I feel disappointed because I feel like I let down the fans.
Right.
For 8 to 10 years, there was no
MetzNTrix
MetzNTrix
together.
music, not together, and we weren't really feeding the fans. So some people might have forgotten about us, but actually, hindsight, what was happening is the older music was getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
More popular.
It was getting more popular. And then it was just I think it was during COVID, pre-COVID, started getting back into it. And then it just went boom on TikTok.
And were you okay with Trix going off and like doing his own thing? Because
Yeah,
you've
because-
done a few solo projects as well.
Yeah. I mean, he was just doing his thing because I had personally taken
Okay.
a break. And so, I didn't really have any like issues with it. He was doing what he was doing.
So you've known each other for a very long time, obviously. Would
Yeah.
you say that he's your ride or die?
I just think that me and him click. We've got a really strong relationship and strong friendship where if you look at a lot of artists that were back then and to now, they're not together no more. They're not, they're broken up or they're separated or gone different ways. Some people have passed away. But for me and Trix, we're like the epitome of that brotherhood, in it. Like it shows us where the strong connection we've got and the passion that we've got for music.
Would you say he's like one of your emergency contacts? So you called him right now?
He didn't get an answer.
Should we call him? Should we call him and create a fake scenario?
No, because he's probably not up right now.
Shall we try?
It's Sunday.
Should we try and call him?
We could. The loudspeaker.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, that's right. Hello.
Okay.
Right. So basically, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if you were going to answer or not. Because I'm on the podcast.
I'm in the hotel.
Right. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite lyric out of all the tunes that you've done out your whole life? What's your favorite lyric?
This goes out to the girls in the front of the back to them anyway.
Mine too. That's my
Which
favourite
guy?
lyric.
I thought you got back to you. There you go, your accent.
That is my favourite lyric as well. I actually used to sing those lyrics going into high school.
So I didn't know he was going to answer, to be fair.
He answered, there you go.
We did. It sounded like he was engaged, though.
So my next question was actually going to be, throughout your musical career, what are the sacrifices that people don't see?
The time, because you know what, being in the music business, believe it or not, is like a 7-day-a-week job. And if you really want to be successful and you really want your music to go to the different corners of the globe, you've got to understand other people's time zones. So like if you want to collab with people in Canada, America, you've got to be prepared to put that work in and get on their time zones. And you've got to be prepared to do things out of your comfort zone.
And is there always a constant pressure to be relevant?
I think
Especially now in the
I think
media.
the new era,
Yeah.
they're on that tip where if you've not got content out and you've not got reels and you've not got material, then it's very difficult to be relevant in this era. So, and that applies to us as well. Like,
Do you feel like it's difficult to be, like you said, you're not huge on TikTok, like you're not very active on it. So do you find it hard to stay relevant, or
No,
do you feel like
because-
when you do go on it, the audience is quite receptive anyway?
because now I've got people around me that are helping me create content.
Okay.
And I've got some of the best creators around, the best directors. So it's just about having a schedule. It's about being consistent. And I feel that the artists that are consistent are the ones that pop off.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? Consistency is the key.
What do you think new artists who are sort of trying to break into music don't realise about the journey? Do you think that they know what they're getting themselves into in terms of
It's,
the time and the dedication that's required to go the full way?
I think, for me, artists that don't put the time and effort into the quality of their sound and quality of their music, and don't go to the right studio environments and don't get the right engineers and, or do the right mixing techniques, yeah, then the sound, when you hear it, some of the music's not great, where some of it's phenomenal. That's because they put their time into it. And if there's people listening out there, I urge them to invest in that quality and go to the best studios and go to record their equipment on the best,
But then
environments.
saying that, what if there's an emerging, a person who's trying to break into this industry but doesn't particularly have those funds required to book the best studios and
Then it's just about consistency, and we know people that have been successful by making a tune in their bedroom, and then it's just gone on TikTok and it's gone viral, and that's it. Now what I'm saying is, artists don't need to make full songs. They can make a 30-second song, bang
on
it
TikTok?
on TikTok. If it doesn't really pop off, then they move on in it, and if it pops off, then they'll finish the song off.
And does that kind of annoy you because of all that, like in the beginning, the hard graft that you have to put in
No,
to
because
actually
it's
getting a song to where it needs to be?
No, because the times are changing. Really, the new age artists have got it easier. They've got all the tools, they've got all the platforms, they've got all the links. They just need to put the work in, and a lot of them are doing really well, to be fair.
How did you and Trix, when you were sitting down to sort of create a song, how did the lyrics come to you?
We haven't changed, so I like to vibe with music. So I just need the music in my earphones in the studio.
So I've got 4 questions for you. I just want you to give me the first song that comes into your head.
Okay.
Okay, so a song that changed things for you.
Ajamai.
A song that still means the most. Yep.
Ooh, Ajamai.
You can't say the same one.
Good cigar, away.
A track that didn't get the credit it deserved.
We can leave now.
Okay, that's 3 questions actually, not 4. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to somebody now who's trying to get into the Asian music scene?
Understand your rights. Understand publishing.
Well, that's quite a heavy one. Understand your rights to begin with.
Yeah, like your music rights.
Okay.
So like.
Is that something you feel like maybe back then you weren't as
No,
about?
definitely not. Yeah. Understand, like, if possible, where possible, always try and own your masters.
Okay.
And if you're not going to own your masters, make sure that you're getting the best deal possible. Publishing, because a lot of the young artists, what I found is, they do really, really well, and they smash it, but they use a lot of famous samples, and they use a lot of famous songs from back in the day.
You see that a lot on TikTok now, don't you?
Yeah,
With DJs mixing
yeah.
and using like.
And they're not really bothered when they release it. They're not really bothered about the consequences. When really, if they could just try to clear the samples, get permission, borrow it, or
Is that
re- or
is that a
redo
whole
it.
process?
I don't think so. If you're clued up and you've got the right channels, it's fairly straightforward, because you got to think the American industry have been doing that for decades. Do you know what I mean? Well, to be fair, they messed up like Truth Hurts, Dr. Dre, he messed up. You know, they got, you know, in trouble. They had to pay a lot of money. So that's my advice to people. If they're going to use like well-known music, just clean yourself up.
Doesn't just apply to the South Asian music.
Yeah,
it
every
definitely applies
music,
to, like every.
yeah, music industry in
And
general.
is there something specifically advice that you have for people trying to enter South Asian music?
Network, number one, and be consistent. Like, don't be afraid to network, and don't be afraid if somebody says no or that they don't like it. Don't give up.
That's good.
Don't give up. Like, if somebody doesn't like your song, including me, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that it's the end. You gotta just keep going. You gotta keep going and keep creating, keep making, and just be yourself. Don't try and copy. Just do your own music that you feel that works, and just be consistent.
And do you ever get asked, you know, from people to help you break into the scene?
Yeah, a lot. I do get
Have
a
you ever
lot.
considered like launching new artists, or is it something you just want to stay away from?
I feel that I owe MetzNTrix that time, and MetzNTrix has still got a very, very, very long way to go. I know that we're here and we're talking about what we've done over the last 26 years, but I still feel there's tons and tons of stuff that I have not achieved, that Trix has not achieved personally, that I owe the fans around the world that bit of respect. So here's something that it's still that I can't get my head around, but I suppose it's my fault as well. We've never ever performed in America, Canada,
Wow, really?
Pakistan,
Pakistan? Wow.
India, Dubai. When's this coming out?
March.
The Dubai one's going to change then.
When are you performing in Dubai?
It's hush hush, but it's February.
Okay.
It's February, just before Ramadan. So if you're watching this now, we would have performed,
Okay.
inshallah,
Wow.
in
That's
Dubai for the
amazing.
first time. But to get Australia, MetzNTrix have never performed in these countries. Pakistan, India, Australia.
Pakistan and India is like a big one for
Yeah,
me.
it's
I'm
huge.
surprised at
Like,
that.
what I'm saying is, the people that are in this business, I would make it their business to become associated with me, because that's going to be a massive thing. When MetzNTrix go on tour to these countries, we are going to, not only are we going to capture the younger audience, but we're going to bring out the older audience
audience that you already have.
that grew up with us. So it's just insane. So I can't get my head around that.
So in the next 10 years or so, like what are three main things that like you're talking about a tour, what are two other things that you think that you would like to have achieved to look back on and say we did this?
EP and an album, definitely. I think this year you're gonna get that. You're gonna get an EP for sure.
Okay.
Because I know, because I've just done it. And I think some people might have heard a couple of tracks.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get some sneak peeks of that.
And for me now that this podcast is out, I've been waiting 26 years to do a track with Sahara.
Wow.
And you would have heard it now. And for me, that's another moment in MetzNTrix's career and life that I'm really proud of, to do a track
Why
with.
has it taken 26 years to get
Because the right people needed to make it happen, and they
Okay.
have. So big shout out to VIP Records. A massive love and respect to all of their family.
Will we be seeing a video for that?
Yeah.
You filmed it?
I filmed it. Yeah, it
Where did you
was
film it?
in London. I'll show you after
Okay.
this.
Wow.
I'll show you. We filmed it in London with Harps, Sahara, us guys. And big shout out to Vinay and VIP Records. It's just an amazing moment. And I think this song will give us the ability for all of us to go and perform together around the globe. Yeah.
Well, that's really exciting, right?
Yeah. It's massive, man. So, these are the things that I'm really like looking forward to, and things that I haven't done. Do you know what I mean? Like saying touring, the collabs with certain artists, and there's producers as well that I'm dying to work with, that I've got the utmost respect for, and I've really, really loved their sound, their music, their personalities, as human beings, as people. They're amazing. Something that I wanted to share with you. Many, many, many years ago, when I was living in East London, I got friendly with Steel Bangles,
Okay.
and we were chatting with Bangles, and he told me a story that still to this day I carry with me everywhere I go. Like I really respect this, like what he's done and what he did for MetzNTrix. He told me a story that when he was in college, he used to obviously love South Asian music, while all his friends and peers were coming in with Soul Solid Crew, Garage, all that kind of sound. He would have the South Asian sound, and one of the albums that he had was Danger, and he used to play that to all his friends. And he was like, "Yo, bro, you made my youth, you made my era. Like you don't know that your album changed it for me. Do you get me?" So he was a big fan of Danger.
Well, that just shows you how iconic Danger is. Like I said at the start.
Yeah.
I think when you think of MetzNTrix, everybody associates you with Danger.
Yeah. And you know what? I've got a big shout out and respect to him, because, there's Danger, there's Punjabi MC, there was all these albums that Steel Bangles was playing and championing and loving. And I do believe that he is one of the most influential music guys and producers in the world, because what he's done for South Asian music, I don't think nobody has done. What he's brought to the table is phenomenal, and I would love to work with him. But I'm just glad to know him, and that he respects me and he knows me. Do you know what I mean? It's a massive honor to know him. But what he's done with his own sound, the British urban artists in this country, with people like Mist, Fred, and what he's done with Burna Boy, and obviously the legacy that he's created with Sidhu Moosewala is unbelievable.
It is quite something.
It's quite something. Do you know what I mean? And if you were to ask me, who are the main people in the UK, Steel Bangles is number one, man.
Who's number two?
I would say very, very close. Would be Mani Sandhu.
Okay.
I would say Mani Sandhu and Bangles are the most influential music producers, in the world right now, especially Mani with the South Asian. And you got to remember, Mani's not signed; it's independent. What he's doing for Param is unbelievable. What he's done with Deji and his own legacy. And again, Mani Sandhu he's a massive fan of MetzNTrix. And just last year, we opened up for Deji Penning and Mani at Leeds.
Okay.
It was a great moment to perform on the stage.
What's been one of your most standout performances that you kind of carry with you and think back to?
Glastonbury.
Oh wow! Okay.
Or Glastonbury 2000, in the mid 2000s. So
Okay.
I think it was in 2008. I can't remember the exact year. I think it was either 2006 or 2008. But I remember it really well because
That kind of come about.
So that was Bobby Friction and Nihal. They took the stage to Glastonbury, and I remember Jay Sean was on the lineup, Punjabi MC, MetzNTrix. I think Juggy was on the lineup, Juggy D. It was a massive lineup. I think maybe Mumsy was on it as well. And I just remember Glastonbury. I remember, I think it's on one of my podcasts that we wore Timberlands and I ruined them. Like, what idiot takes Timberlands to Glastonbury? But that's a standout moment. London Mela as well. I think London Mela and Bradford
Have you done
Mela.
London Mela a few times?
We did it a couple of times back in the day.
Back in
Recently, we've done Wembley Mela. We did Wembley Mela about 2 years ago. Really nice. And that's growing. That's grown and grown. But the best Mela for me, and will always, like, I'll always be forever grateful, is, believe it or not, is in Birmingham. Is Big John's.
Do you like Birmingham's?
Birmingham's got its character. but you know what? I do like Birmingham because the love that they've shown me.
Got a lot of fans in Birmingham.
Massive fan base in Birmingham. And you know what? Big John Mela in Birmingham is massive. It's huge Mela. It's not been on for a couple of years now, but I think when they do come back, it'll just be even bigger.
Will we be seeing you in any of the Melas this year?
I hope so. You know, doing the Melas is a challenge because Melas get budgets. They get a lot of resources. Some Melas don't get the budgets they want, but a lot of them do. Do you know what I mean? And it's whether they want to pay the price. And I think that Melas, they've got to change that mindset.
What are you currently working on, and can you share some sneak peeks with us?
So obviously, I've told you about the Sahara, VIP, PJ Harps, and that really, so that's a massive song. I've got the EP, which is coming out in end of March, maybe April. I don't know the name of it because we haven't finished finalising the name,
Okay.
but we finalised the tracks. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've also got a collaboration with Bikram Singh.
Oh, wow.
That video's
Okay.
been shot.
Wow.
So Bikram flew in from New York, America. So I don't know if you saw the tail end of last year. I was performing with him. So we were literally performing with him. And then we had the music video shoot.
Wow. How do you figure out the concepts for the music video shoot? Is it just sort of a case of sitting down and brainstorming, or does somebody say, you know, this is the direction
So
we'll take?
it all depends on the director, but my main director is Akash. So big shout out to Akash. He's an amazing director. Also, big shout out to Great Mushad. He's an amazing director. Mexi, I haven't worked with him yet, but I think he's a phenomenal director. Wiz, there's another director called Wiz from Leicester who's just insane. He does a
And
lot.
do you ever go to them and say, this is kind of
Yeah.
what I want to do?
Yeah, then they'll tell you, the first thing they're going to say is budget.
Okay, yeah.
But most of the time you get creative. But recently I've let the directors take the lead
Yeah,
because I just want to like perform.
yeah. So just to sort of round up now, obviously the title of the podcast is Off the Record. So looking back, what's something that's on the record that you wish was off the record? It could be like a moment, a decision.
Yeah, I think for me, like letting everyone know that we were a bit gutted. The moment when Akshay Kumar came and all the Bollywood actors and actresses came for the IFA Awards, and it was in Sheffield many years ago. And that Akshay performed Aja Mahi, but we didn't.
Right.
Like, I wish that was off the record a bit.
Right, okay.
Like I was really gutted about that personally. Trix wasn't. He was like, "Well, it's a pinnacle moment. Your music's Aja Mahi's gone global now, you know." But I wish I was singing it in that stadium. Like I really do. Like I really wanted to sing that, you know. But it never happened.
Right. But Akshay Kumar, I mean,
Yeah, he's big. He's a big actor. He's a big actor.
I feel like there's some beef here with Akshay Kumar.
We say, yo.
Well, you know, thanks for coming and being our first guest on Off the Record. And, you know, when I envisioned having this podcast, my first thoughts were always my first guest is going to be MetzNTrix.
Oh, that's amazing.
We've got Metz.
It's wicked to be here in Scotland. I love it. I love it, and I've managed to like have a walk around the centre and the town, link up with a few people. You know, I've been shown the
When
sights.
can we expect a performance in Scotland then?
I don't know, maybe definitely in 2026. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. Yeah, maybe the Modler, maybe some promoters are going to reach out, but I think a MetzNTrix shutdown in Scotland is due, not only in Glasgow but in Edinburgh. I think we need to go both cities.
Let's do it.
And smash it. And yeah, and something off the record that I don't know. Maybe you want to put it. You know,
Go on.
I'm flipping. I did a track, but it never came out.
Oh, okay.
I did a track with Gary Sandu, and I'm gutted that it never
Why
came
did it
out.
not come out?
Because Gary said, nah.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, they loved it, and then they were like, nah. They changed their mind. And the track is a banger.
Was that recent?
No, that was just a year and a half ago.
Right, okay.
And I feel that if Gary released it, it'd be massive.
Do you still
I've got it on my phone. I've got it on my phone. I love it.
Can we hear it?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to play it to the audience?
Probably not. I'll get in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Definitely right on that.
That's that copyright we were talking about earlier.
But yeah, it's a banger.
Oh, okay.
I wish maybe you'll reconsider. So Gary, if
You
you
ever
listen,
phone them and be like, listen, have you reconsidered it?
no, because I went through different people.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't speak to him directly, but I'm sure I will speak to him. And I'll tell him over there, yo,
Get that released.
Get that
Start
tune.
a petition to get
yeah,
that song released.
get that song released. Gary Sandu, MetzNTrix, we want it.
We want it. We want to see it.
Yeah.
Can you share some of your new music? And then
Yo, you know what started this? MetzNTrix, DJ Hops, Sahara.
Little bit of house and G and tricks. I know you got some love for me.
that's why you did it. Let me catch it.